Now, other generational changes. I've alluded to this, but now I want to talk about this a little bit further. I spent about 4 years at the Rice University in Houston, Texas. They created a Door Institute. And these images are with me and a couple of the students at different times there at the Door Institute. John and Ann Door went to Rice University and fell madly in love. They were engineers. Well, they graduated and went on to become amazingly successful. They both returned back to Rice and got engineering degrees. So they have master's degrees and undergraduate degrees from Rice in engineering. John will later on go on to Harvard to get an MBA in business. He and his wife became billionaires because essentially any of the large tech firms in Silicon Valley, they all were advised by and funded by Ann and John Doerr's company. So they became billionaires and decided to turn back to Rice University. He became a big believer in coaching. They initially in 2010 donated $10 million to the engineering school because they recognized that, hey, these kids are wickedly smart, but they don't necessarily present themselves well. He said, give these folks coaching, coach all the engineers. It worked so well that 5 years later, he and his wife went back and they made a $50 million donation to Rice University. And they said, turn every student on campus into a leader. So because of Ann and John Doerr, every student at Rice University, it's a campus of about 6,000 students, has access to a professional certified ICF executive coach. Now, they said, we don't believe in buildings. They didn't want a building named after them. That's the first idea that folks wanted to do. They said, we believe in people. So there's no building on campus with their name, but the institute is called the Ann and John Doerr Institute for New Leaders. And in this institute, where they provide coaching for the 18-year-old on campus, all the way up to the senior students, we saw major transformations. I saw in my first year, I worked with a young man who had come to America from China. He had never been to the States before. So all the way from China, leaving his parents, and I'm coaching him. And it occurs to me just while we're having a conversation one day, I just asked him, I said, what are you eating? Because I could tell he was going through a lot. You were away from mom and dad for the first time, very far away. And I could just see his face light up like, yeah, I'm really not liking this food, right? Having a tough time even adjusting to simple things like that. So we had a great relationship. We developed a bond over the course of that semester. And because of our coaching relationship, he was able to do some transformational things at Rice, even in that first semester. And he credited the coaching as a part of that. So talk about generational coaching, right? To take a young man like that and to do wonders for his career. I would see him again on campus as I was wrapping up my time there, and he was graduating. And he was so excited, and I was excited to see him. And now he's off working in corporate America, doing amazingly well. I saw one of his posts on LinkedIn recently. And so his career started off very differently because of the power of coaching. I have other young people on the campus that I've coached that have great stories to tell. But I'll tell you about one other person very quickly. She was not a young person like this 18-year-old. She was a surgeon, and she left Italy. And because of certain circumstances, she left Italy, had to start over in America, and she couldn't start over as a surgeon because they wouldn't accept her educational credentials. So she ends up at Rice working on a PhD to become a professor. She's going to go into academia and teach for the rest of her life. So I ended up coaching her. And she ended up doing amazingly well. In fact, she and a couple of these younger students, the other thing that happens at Rice is they train them to become certified coaches. So I've watched 18, 19-year-olds, and even this senior professional get certified as a coach right there on campus. In fact, I just finished doing mentor coaching for one of the young ladies who's going to become, hopefully, my fingers are crossed, she submitted her application for ACC. She would become the first female to get certified. We've had several young men get certified. She's going to be the first female, and she will probably be the youngest in the United States, if not the world, if her credential goes through. So really excited to see what's happening there at the Door Institute for New Leaders at Rice, as they are using multi-generational coaching to change the lives of young people, and they in turn change the lives of others. Coaching needs change throughout a career. So you may start off needing a career coach as you're leaving college, but then later on, you need a life coach, excuse me, or professional development coach. You may need a business coach. When we're working at the senior levels, we start thinking about leadership coaching and executive coaching. And somewhere along the line, sometimes we need financial coaches or fitness coaches, right? So to our conversation earlier, the coaching that you're using changes and takes on different shapes. You may even have multiple coaches at the same time, depending on what you're working on. The key is to continue to use coaches at different stages of your life. And as you're doing that, it's multi-generational coaching, working to develop leaders and get you to that next level. Something that's changed for people as they reach different levels is the type of coaching that they need. So laser coaching is becoming very popular. David Gregory, a friend of mine who's a member of the Marshall Goldsmith 100 Coaches, he was sharing with us, he was the head of coaching for Google until very recently. He was the head of coaching for all of Google. And he said that increasingly what he started to see is people did not want 1 hour sessions. These very senior, very busy tech execs said, listen, I don't have an hour. I need someone that can help me navigate a complex situation in 20 minutes or less. So you had to get really good at focused, targeted, laser coaching with these executives. And you couldn't work as a Google coach unless you could do that. So that's another generational shift, right? So multi-generational coaching, different skill set required to meet the needs. And oftentimes, obviously, you were talking about a younger demographic of coaches in this space. So what are those options? The additional options you can consider? Closely related would be mentoring. Now, it's not exactly coaching, but in some cases, it's a cousin of coaching. So you need a mentor. Sometimes you need someone that actually shows you specifically what to do. As coaches, of course, we guide you. You figure out the answer based on our toolkit of questioning, listening, right? But the mentor is going to do more specific targeting of showing you what you may need to do to be successful. Now, Carla Harris, the most famous Black woman on Wall Street, most powerful Black woman on Wall Street, quite frankly, she said, you can go a long time in your career without a mentor, but you won't go far at all without a sponsor. So she talks about having a sponsor. The sponsor does more than just maybe show you what's the best way to succeed in a role. They actually open doors for you. They advocate for you. They put their good name on the line to help you grow and develop. That is almost always a more senior person than you, even if it's not by age, but it's always a more senior person who has positional authority in an organization. So everyone needs a sponsor. Now, sometimes sponsors act like mentors, and that's a problem. They don't know the difference. But when sponsors truly understand that it's not about showing someone what to do, but about opening the door, putting your name on them, giving them air cover while they experiment with ideas that are out of the box, while they take on stretch assignments, that's how people grow and develop. You need a sponsor to help you do that. And that is another method, a cousin of coaching. So what makes multi-generational coaching so powerful? What makes it so powerful is it supports generations of employees like nothing else can. The give and take, the ability to help another leader, and then also to give back and helping just the way you were helped. As norms and attitudes have changed over the years, we need people to break those silos, not just stay with their generation, but cross over and help out other generations. It's a scalable approach to coaching, right? Younger can help older, older can help younger. We have technology and traditional human-to-human options available. It's not just a one-size-fits-all approach. Depending on your need, depending on your generation, there is a solution that can help you. Last but not least, don't forget about mentoring and sponsoring and the difference. And that even there too, it's a two-way street. It's not just, hey, mentor me, sponsor me, and it's all I'm going to take from you. No, if you've been mentored, if you've been sponsored, you must reward that person that put their good name on you by performing, but then also by helping them where you can, and certainly by paying it forward and helping others. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor to have been here with you all today, and it is my sincere hope that you are now convinced more than ever about what makes multi-generational coaching powerful.